Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube today. Hello, friends. Your ridiculously overgood brother Anthony Floyer here, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Twisted Angel, Edie Woodson. Michael Bullock will probably be late, like he always is. So if he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed, or if not, then we'll see him when we see him. So nothing more to say there. So let's get right to the action here, guys. Whoa, okay. Um, of course, this was another so-so edition of Raw. But I'll tell you what, two things, two matches, really stood out here tonight, and you're not gonna believe what we're gonna say about them. So Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado, the home of the NHL's Colorado Avalanche and the NBA's Denver Nuggets. Double taping this week. Not just Raw tonight, but MF and SmackDown Live will have their turn tomorrow. And the segment that they announced for tomorrow night. Let me just say it's not going to end well. Let me just say it like that. So we started it off with the Shield. Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. You know, as they continue to hype the upcoming battle with the Dogs of War, Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre, that big six-man coming up in Australia, and Baron Corbin, acting general manager Constable Corbin. Pressure was on him tonight because the boss was in the house, Stephanie McMahon, but not for what you would think. So a very special segment. We'll get into that, but and one thing that really stood out during this segment, which was really good, which I would say second best segment of the night. One was better. I think you know where I'm going with it. It was Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler planting the seeds of doubt in Dean Ambrose trying to, you know, you know, trying to cause tension here, trying to stir the pot, if you will, with the Shield there, especially with Ambrose. I mean, even going back to their SmackDown Live days, and I know that put a smile on MF's face because Ambrose and Ziggler, once upon a time, they were on SmackDown Live and they were doing their thing there. But I got to give it up for creative. I mean, they gave the otherwise meaningless six-man tag at Super Showdown an extra hook by planting the seeds for a potential Dean Ambrose heel turn. I mean, Strowman, McIntyre, and Ziggler said everything the Ambrose character could have pointed to if he turned. It is a nice hook to give the match, and they played it well by having Ambrose, not say anything. But I really don't see the turn happening anytime soon. I mean, you know, with all this Shield hoopla, and rightfully so. The merch is selling again, and some new merch came out, and yeah, way too soon for any turn. But I believe there will be an Ambrose heel turn down the line. I just don't see it yet. It's too soon for it. So, but other than that, a great. This was the second best segment of the night. I would have called this segment of the night, but there was one special segment during the show that was automatically the segment of the night, and definitely one of the more emotionally charged segments in Raw history. So, and it's one we normally don't speak about, but I think it's one that we could definitely briefly get into. But nonetheless, second best segment of the night, well done, and everybody did great. But for me, Ziggler was the star of this segment, especially when he brought back the SmackDown Live aspect of it. So nothing really more to say here. So second best segment of the night in MF. I know when Ziggler brought up those memories of him and Ambrose on SmackDown Live, back when Ambrose was the then WWE World Champion. I know that probably brought a little smirk to your face there.
Oh, without a doubt. That was definitely very exciting. I remember those days very well. It was a darn shame that I didn't get a chance to talk about it because remember, we didn't have a Cerebral Smack talk back then. During that era when he was the WWE champion. So it kind of was a little bit before then. But you know, at the end of the day, it was as good as you could have gotten it. It was good as we hoped for, and yeah, I loved what they were doing. You know, and the thing was, Dolph Ziggler was actually making some valid points when he did that. He first off said, "Hey, look, Seth begged you to come back at SummerSlam, and because you sacrificed your body, Seth won the Intercontinental Championship. And what did you get what did you get when that happened? You really didn't get anything because of that. Then I also love the fact how they threw that other element in the game where they were like, well, then remember the next night, Braun Strowman tried to cash in the Money in the Bank. You came out, you helped, you protected Roman, and what did you get for it at that point? Absolutely nothing. So this is what you do. You could join us, McIntyre. You could join myself, McIntyre, and Braun. If you do that, then don't worry. We're not going to give you any problem. We're not going to cause any trouble for you. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let you, play it the way that you want it. You want the Intercontinental Championship? Have at it, Hoss. We're not going to get in your way. We're not going to cause any trouble for that. So, it is what it is. There you go. So, we'll see what happens. And I thought it was solid. I loved how everybody was playing that storyline. So yeah, beautifully done. Nothing more to say. Dee, what's in this yours, my dear?
Yeah, it was a very good segment. Great way to start off Raw, especially after seeing Stephanie and Triple H show up and Corbin trying to kiss butt. Yeah, it didn't go real super well for him, but of course we did get the little tidbit that this apparently was a worked out plan between Stephanie and Corbin on Corbin being the acting general manager. So yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, the opening segment very well done. Valid points all around, and of course, this would be the theme of most of the backstage segments tonight, being between Ziggler and McIntyre and the members of the Shield. So yeah, good segment, very well done. Definitely, made the point to look forward to the two big matches that were made for tonight, along with the one here a week from Saturday in Australia at the pay-per-view. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Let's move on.
First match of the night, Finn Balor, accompanied by his mixed match challenge partner Bayley, squaring off against Jinder Mahal, along with Sunil Singh and Jinder's mixed match challenge partner Alicia Fox. Winner of the match, 9 minutes and 55 seconds, Finn Balor via the dreaded roll-up of doom. Other than that little spot MF, not a bad match. Leave it to Finn Balor to get a passable match out of the green as grass Jinder.
Are you kidding me, man? Finn Balor, man, or I gotta say, man, half amazing. It's a darn shame that WWE does not realize the full potential of this guy, man. Because I know him as Prince Devitt from New Japan Pro Wrestling, the original leader of the Bullet Club, one of the original leaders of the Bullet Club. And it it was a passable match, like you said, Anthony. I'm not gonna harp too much on it. I say this is a solid fight. Maybe I could go about 2.25 stars. Nothing amazing. It was just, it was just there. It was a solid fight. Really nothing bad to say about it whatsoever. So yeah, good match, good battle, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But no, I was pretty happy with the way that the match went out. So Didi, I'll give it to you.
What was your rating, Fletch?
2 to 2.25.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It was an okay match. It wasn't it wasn't the best in the world, but it was an okay match considering, who they put Balor up against. But it was interesting to see the mixed match partners out there with their with the guys. And so do we think that Jinder just fired Singh, one of the Singh brothers, or was this just him letting out rage? That's my question for the night. So I'll toss it over to Anthony.
2.5 for me. I mean, you've heard me talk about it before on past shows, how an extremely gifted performer can get a passable match out of a green as grass, average, mediocre performer. And that's what happened here tonight. I mean, this was a decent match, along with some good hype for the mixed match challenge, which just returned last week with a slightly different broadcast team. I mean, yes, Michael Cole is still there, but you got Vic Joseph from 205 Live, my guy from 205 Live, and Renee Young doing it now. So big ups to them. But I mean, Jinder going after Sunil was a new twist, and I've always pushed the idea of giving the Singh brothers individual characters by having Jinder favor one while the other desperately tries to gain his respect. And WWE officials are way too proud of their "an extraordinary man who can do extraordinary things" tagline for Finn. It sounds so forced, and it seems like the broadcast team members say it at least twice whenever he's on Raw. But yeah, MF made some great points, so as did Didi on that. But MF knows the day of Prince Devitt. Finn Balor when he was Prince Devitt. Going back to New Japan, the Bullet Club, the original Bullet Club. So yeah, great history there. So 2.5 from me. So a 6-woman tag team match. Natalya and the Bella Twins squaring off against the Riot Squad. And the Riot Squad actually win the match in 10.5 minutes. But Didi Woodson, most important thing that came out of this match, Liv Morgan. Oh. You got to feel bad for the Blue Tongue Banshee now, don't you?
Yeah, I read that they were doing a concussion check on her, but actually, I don't know what's going on. All the dirt sheets, plus Michael Cole said she was taken to the back during the match. If you look right there near the end of the match, she is still on the outside of the ring with the trainer when the pin happens. So she had not been taken back yet when Cole said that line. Plus, of course, I thank God for DVRs, because we ended up pausing the show during this match to watch 5 minutes of Markiplier eating pretzels. So I guess that can kind of tell you what I thought of this match. It was not the best match in the world. I kind of got bored with it. I'll give it maybe 1 star. I feel bad for Liv. I hope, that it's not a concussion, that she's all right. But it is what it is. Bree did admit that, it was an accident, that, when you're in a match, you're actually looking for the win, not to go out and take out opponents. So, it is what it is. So I'll toss it over to you.
Yeah. What was your star rating for that match, DDI?
1.
1? Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. I mean, this was, but the spot with Morgan taking the kick to the face was a mess. I mean, it looked like Bree caught Morgan with one kick and dazed her, and then Morgan seemed to lower her head and then take the final kick even more directly. I was surprised that Morgan was allowed to even return to the ring for the suplex spot before the break. But despite becoming a handicap match, the heels had to win, or it would have made their match against Rousey and the Bellas at Super Showdown feel pretty pointless. So, yeah, sloppy match indeed. So, I got to give that to Didi. You're absolutely right. 1 star. So, MF, do you concur with that, or do you think this match was better or worse?
No. This was a 1-star fight, no doubt about it. But definitely, I agree with everybody's sentiment. Our concern is with Liv Morgan. I think it is a concussion. The way that kick went right into the face. I think at first I thought she broke her nose. I thought that it was like a nose break or something like that because if you look at the way the directions of those kicks, but the first one she played it off fine. She kicked, but when he kicked her in the face, that was the first one. But the second one, if you saw it after she bent down, it looked like she got bent, and then that second one just was straight up, right in the face. And yeah, I saw that too. That was a devastating kick. Look, it happens. There's really nothing more to say about it. It is wrestling. It is actually real. Like we always say, and accidents do tend to happen. I mean, we saw Brian Kendrick when he ate one from Akira not from Tozawa. It was on Monday Night Raw too, during the days of the Cruiserweights when they were on Raw. It was Hideo Itami, the GTS, and Kendrick didn't protect himself and got it flush in the face. Sometimes that does happen in wrestling. Sometimes there are moments where people do get hurt, and unfortunately for Liv, this is one of those moments where she accidentally got hit hard. I know it definitely hurts. I know a lot of WWE fans are really kind of going after they're going after Brie for this. I know some people are on social media have kind of gone after Brie Bella for this, for what she did. So it's unfair. It's a little bit of a raw deal here because, like I said, they're performers, they're wrestlers, and sometimes accidents do happen. But some of the IWC is going after her right now. Basically, like in other instances, like what happened with Sasha, calling her dangerous in the ring. Even though I know it's unfair, and it is, but I kind of feel like it was a great performance, decent for what it's worth, but it was kind of a mess as well. So I agree with everybody's sentiments, but like I said, our thoughts are definitely with Liv right now, and hope that nothing serious is out of it. Obviously, she's going through the concussion protocol right now, which means she'll probably be out for about a week because that's how long they normally keep them out of the ring for. But hopefully it's nothing more serious than that. But if we hear anything, if Didi or myself hears anything, then we'll definitely bring it up to you guys tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk.
Fair enough. Let's move on now to a very special segment here. It was another segment to honor the Connors Cure, but this was a standout segment in particular. I mean, you had Triple H, And the birthday girl, Stephanie McMahon. This today actually is Stephanie McMahon's birthday. You wouldn't know it by looking at her. She is not 42 years old. I am sorry. She looks more like she's 32 or something like that. She is just so beautiful for her age. Let me tell you that right now. So on behalf of all of us here at Ridiculously Raw, we want to pass along our special and happy Stephanie, and very special day for her, and to be on screen with her husband Triple H, and they brought out two very special youngsters, a young man by the name of Carter and a young woman, a young lady by the name of Elizabeth, along with an executive from Hyundai, who is their newest partner in their fight against Connor's for Connor's cure. And they presented those. They presented the youngsters with championship belts, actual replica championship belts, a Universal Championship for Carter, and a Raw Women's Championship for Elizabeth, and and the crowd. Give it up for the crowd in Denver, because they did "You Deserve It" chants. I mean, that didn't give you goosebumps. I mean, I don't know what in the world will. And then the executive from Hyundai presented Triple H and Stephanie and WWE with a check for $200,000 to go towards Connor's cure. And I know I speak on behalf of MF and Didi, and I can honestly say that was automatically the segment of the night, and it definitely ranks up there as one of the more emotionally charged segments in the history of the show. And I know WWE gets a bad rap at times, and they certainly do, and there are those times where they deserve it, but this was one of those times where you have to applaud WWE, because say what you want about them, but their charitable efforts, they're top notch. Let me tell you. I mean, they take their charitable efforts very seriously, especially the Connor's cure, in memory of the young man who captured our hearts, the young man, Conor Mahalik, very first recipient of the Warrior Award as part of the WWE Hall of Fame. And, well done. That's all I can say. That was, if you didn't feel anything during that, I mean, if you didn't, feel like goosebumps or, a tugging on your heartstring, I mean, you don't have a soul. That's all there is to say on that. So, oh boy, that was something. That was really well done. So, and I know MF and Didi would concur with me on that. So, well done. That's all there is to say there. So, and Hunter spoke about some of the kids and said they define what it means to be a superstar. Stephanie said they are proud to have a new tag team partner. Then they set up the video package, and kids and wrestlers were shown putting their handprints and paint on a car. And the tag partner referenced by Steph is Hyundai, and the Hope on Wheels car, came out awesome. Of course, we have to do cutouts here, because what's this show without them? Chad Gable against Connor. You would think Chad Gable would go over, but no, Connor actually wins the match in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, not just surprised that the Ascension actually got a televised entrance. I was even more surprised when Connor actually went over. So, what a surprise there. Yeah, the match was terrible, but very likely the worst fight of the night. But, man alive, what a surprise. A rare tag team title match on Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler defending the titles against, the Revival. Winners of the match in about 12 and a half minutes, and still your Raw tag team champions, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. That Claymore kick into the zigzag gets it done. Second best fight of the night, 3.5 stars. This was a very good match. Got the live crowd to care, even though it was an awkward match involving two heel tag teams. I can't say enough. I cannot stress it enough. The Revival are an excellent tag team, and I am hopeful that the crowd's reaction to the match will be remembered by WWE executives and officials more than the stumble on the Famouser spot. But yeah, give it up. I mean, a great tag team championship match, and You know, it was a very good back and forth with the Revival digging deep into their bag of tricks to try and take the titles before finally succumbing to Ziggler and McIntyre. So I know there's a lot of people who have thrown in the towel on the Revival and have given up on them, but mark my words, I still believe in this team, and I still believe that one day, I don't care when that day is, it could be, you know, it could be the end of the year, it could be sometime next year, I don't care. I still believe in my heart of hearts that Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder at some point will become the Raw Tag Team Champions. They cannot be ignored. So nothing more to say. This was far and away their best effort. That's all there is to say. This was their personal best. It's a shame they didn't win the titles, but obviously they want to keep all the belts involved with the Shield and the Dogs of War. So really nothing more to say here. Second best fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Sleeper fight of the night as well. I didn't expect this to be anything really special, but color me surprised. And Meth, what do you think about? Wow, what a tag team title match! And say what you want about the Revival, but I thought tonight this was their personal best effort.
Yeah, well, personal best, yes, I'll give you that, and I'll totally agree with you. But as far as the Revival goes, I don't know. I mean, yes, it is necessary. They did a good job. They gave us an A effort of performance tonight and everything else. But I'm sorry, Anthony. I think that ship has sailed about the Revival being legitimate tag team contenders. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I think right now they need a different show. I'm gonna openly admit this. I think they should go to SmackDown Live. I think they're better off in SmackDown Live than they are on Monday Night Raw. Because on SmackDown Live, yes, I know the tag team division is very top heavy, but whenever you have really good tag teams in there, it makes the division better. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Sanity. They have kind of gone MIA now. And to me, we could use the Revival, as another buffering team to solidify that tag team division. So I just feel like a change of pace might be better for them, for Dawson and Wilder. And just basically just for them just to stay healthy is also a key factor, because they were supposed to get a big push, a big run, and 2 times already each member got hurt and it derailed their momentum. So we'll wait and see what happens. Nothing more to say. Yes, this was far and away their best fight, and yes, this was a 3-star match, but other than that, Didi, what's in it to yours?
Yeah, 3-star match. This was I would have to give it the second best fight of the night. I do think that the Revival's kind of getting lost in the Raw shuffle. Whether or not, it picks up before the next roster shuffle we get here, I don't know, but Fletch could get his wish when we come around to, the draft again. They could be going over to SmackDown then, and who knows what's going to happen. All I know is Raw does need a boost in their tag team division, and unfortunately, whatever's going on in there now, some of the tag teams are just getting completely lost, and they're one of them. So, it was a very good match. Very enjoyable. The fans got into it and everything. So, not much more I have to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to get into, so let's try to pick up the pace a little bit here, folks. There was a in-ring segment. The Kevin Owens show. His guest was Elias, and then it was then interrupted by Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, and a homecoming for Bobby Lashley, because he is from the Colorado area. Originally from Colorado Springs, but that segment, which no comment. we're not gonna waste any time on that. But let's get into the match here. Bobby Lashley against Elias, and this one actually got a decent amount of time, and Bobby Lashley won the match via a disqualification, 13 minutes and 5 seconds. So, MF, it may not have been the greatest match in the world, but you know, Lashley and Elias, I'd give him an A for effort. They worked hard out there.
It served its purpose. It was a decent fight. That I'll agree with that. There was really nothing more that I'm going to harp on or even talk about. I mean, it could have been better. It could have been a lot more stronger. But I'm not gonna deny or say anything bad whatsoever. Yes, it was a good match. Yes, it was solid. Yes, it was what it needed to be. So this is like 2.5 stars. I'll give you that. Nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll agree with the 2-star rating, but I do need to correct Florio on the KO segment. He said that Lio Rush was his guest. And then Lio was the one who brought Lashley out. So minor correction there. Other than that, I agree pretty much with what Fletch said. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, I do stand corrected on that. I'll give you that. 2.25, 2.5. I mean, these guys worked hard. This was a better match than I expected it to be. I mean, like I said, it wasn't the best, but nonetheless, it wasn't the worst either. So credit to them for that. So let's move on. We have another cutout here. Nia Jax, Ember Moon in her corner, squaring off against Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in her corner. Nia Jax wins it in about 3 minutes, just north of 3 minutes at 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Another, squash match here. I mean, Nia made quick work of A Fox, so there's really nothing more to say. Let's get into the main event of the evening. A 6-man tag team match. The Shield squaring off against acting general manager Constable Baron Corbin and his 2 partners. We were wondering who his 2 partners were, and I'm going to be honest. I cannot say I'm surprised at who they were. I knew it was going to be these 2 guys. I just had a feeling in my gut it was going to be these 2, and I'm not surprised I was right about this. Baron Corbin's partners, none other than Akam and Razar, the authors of Pain, with their new manager Drake Maverick, who's of course also serving as general manager of 205 Live and doing a damn good job on that. Winners of the match in just about 20 minutes. It was the Shield. Shield win it in about 20 minutes. I'll get the exact time in a minute. So unofficially, just about 20 minutes, but nonetheless, Didi Woodson. Oh my goodness! I mean, one of the best Raw main events we've had in a long time.
This was definitely the match of the night. And I said at the beginning, we had all those little backstage segments, and they all led up to this match because pretty much you had Ziggler and McIntyre trying to talk Ambrose into leaving the Shield, but at the same time, you had Rollins sneaking in there trying to tell McIntyre pretty much how much he's being used by not just Strowman, but of course Ziggler as well, which led all the way up to this match. And then at the end, we see Ambrose sitting here on the ramp, and here you have Strowman and company up on the ramp, waiting patiently to see, if he's going to go their direction. And you have Rollins and Reigns in the ring waiting for their brother to come in. And, after a little bit of just sitting there, he does run in. They do the fist bump, and, Shield sticks together. But yeah, this was a very well done match. Not surprised with who Corbin picked. But it was a very well done match. It's about all I can really say. I mean, it was awesome. I didn't expect as much out of Corbin as we got, so I'll let you guys take it from here.
3.5 to 4. I mean, I could easily just give this 4. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a main event of this caliber. I mean, the time of the fall ranges from between 19 minutes and 10 seconds to just about 20 minutes. But this ended up a very good main event, and it brought back some of the fun and magic of the old Shield 6-man tags. AOP looked good, and AOP looked very good, and Baron Corbin smartly took the fall. I mean, this was a good main. This was a very good main event, and the payoff of Dean Ambrose choosing his brothers over giving Strowman's crew a sign was very well received by the live crowd. I mean, that was never really in doubt in my mind. But Creative deserves credit for coming up with that hook, as well as the hook of who would team with Corbin to face the Shield in the main event, even though I was not surprised by who it was. We'll see if it pays off in the overall ratings tomorrow. But nonetheless, it's been a long time since we've had a main event of that caliber on Monday Night Raw. I mean, I could probably say it was the best Raw main event in a month. I mean, the last Raw main event that really stood out to me was when Roman Reigns defended his newly won Universal Championship against Finn Balor the night after SummerSlam last month. I mean, it's been about a month since we've had a quality main event on Monday Night Raw. So, well done. That's all I can say. Easily the fight of the night. 3.5 to 4. I could just easily give this a solid 4. This was an incredible main event. So, nothing more to say except MF. I mean, best Raw main event since Reigns and Balor's Universal title match the night after SummerSlam.
Are you kidding me? I totally agree with everything you just said, Florio. Yeah, 4 stars, fight of the night. Great matchup. Nothing else to say. We're just going to move right along.
And we will get into our overall review of Monday Night Raw, and I believe I give it up here. I'll tell you, quality matches. I mean, I know the average rating is about 5, and I can understand that. But for me, I'm going to give this somewhere between 6 and 6.5, if I'm going to be real honest with you. Main event, incredible. One of the best Raw main event in over a month. We had a quality tag team title match. Ziggler and McIntyre in the Revival. Credit to Finn Balor for getting a passable match out of Jinder Mahal. That is not easy, but he somehow managed to do it. Credit to him. And of course, Lashley and Elias had a halfway decent fight, and of course that opening segment with everybody involved, and the angle with Ambrose. I mean, a great hook for the Super Showdown, and of course that special segment with Triple H and Stephanie and the Condoms Cure kids. I mean, that was very well done. And we got a loaded show next Monday night. I mean, next Monday night on Raw, Shawn Michaels is going to make another guest appearance. Bobby Lashley will square off against Kevin Owens. And Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey will be squaring off against Ruby Riott. That's a loaded show next week, which will serve as technically the go-home show for the Super Showdown. So can't wait to see how it all comes out. I mean, 2 solid matches, and of course you got HBK, so you know that's going to be automatic money in the bank. So I know the average pundits are giving this about a 5, but I don't care. Between 5 and 5.25, but for me, 6 to 6.5, mainly because of those 2 incredible matches with the main event and the tag team title match. So nothing really more to say. If I overscored it, I don't care. So nothing more to say. MF, I mean, SmackDown will be there in Denver as well tomorrow. And you got a great contract signing with AJ and Joe. You know that's not going to end well, but
obviously.
Nonetheless, 6 to 6.5. Like I said, if I overscored it, I don't care. My story.
No, I mean, look. I'll be fair. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is the rating. That's the score you're going to get tonight. It was a good show. There was some passable moments. It's better than some of the garbage you've been giving us lately on Monday Night Raw. So, no, passable show. Good enough. Nothing more to say. Didi, what's in this? Yours.
Yeah, I'll agree about 6 out of 10. Mainly because of the 2 really good segments, all the Shield backstage segments, and our 2 matches that were really good. I mean, that pretty much that's your sum of Raw for the night. They did, at least with, the Shield and Strowman and Corbin issue here, they did kind of stick into a storyline type base there, but some of the rest of it just kind of fell through the cracks. They tried to get it, you know, like with the ladies, some storyline type stuff going on there, but it just really didn't click. So, not much more I had to say about it. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow night or whenever. So, good night, guys.
All right, good night, Dee Dee. We'll see you next time. And let's get right into my Tony's Take here. The first Wednesday night edition of 205 Live. As you know, 205 Live will now be airing on Wednesday nights at 7 Eastern, kicking off a great 3-hour block on the WWE Network, which will be followed by NXT at 8 o'clock and the continuing coverage of the Mae Young Classic at 9. You're made if you're a wrestling fan. I'll tell you that right now, especially if you have the WWE Network. But anywho, only 2 matches, but boy, howdy, they were both really good. We started it off with TJP squaring off against Lince Dorado. TJP wins it in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Solid 3 stars. Good and fun back and forth match. TJP had to resort to the heel shenanigans to get the win, but solid for what it was. All right, this was the big match. Cedric Alexander defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Drew Gulak. Winner of the match in 20 and a half minutes, and still the Cruiserweight Champion, Cedric Alexander, with the lumbar check. Easily the fight of the night. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. This was, wow. They got the shenanigans out of the way early, forcing Gulak to fight on his own and allowing Alexander to take control. Gulak's heat segment was great, logical and to the point. He makes everything look easy and effortless. Alexander showed great babyface fire in his comeback, and the closing stretch was absolutely tremendous, with Alexander once again retaining and moving on to face Buddy Murphy at Super Showdown. Clash of styles, hard-hitting and ground-based versus the athletic and flashy champion. That paired extremely well here. 7 3/4 to 8 out of 10. This was another very good show. It was simple but very good, with a good opening match. And he set up a couple fights for next week, and an incredible main event. And next week, Mustafa Ali is going to go up against Hideo Itami, and Lio Rush is going to square off against Noam Dar. So you got 2 incredibly great matches to check out Wednesday night on 205 Live on the WWE Network. So well done all around. So nothing more to say there. 7 3/4 to 8 out of 10. Go out of your way to see that Cruiserweight Championship match. That was very well done. Nothing more to say. Let's move on to Impact Wrestling. And it was the first of the 4 tapings in Mexico. And so here we go. We started it off with OVE against Aerostar, Hijo del Vikingo, and the Laredo Kid. OVE win the match, 8 minutes, 25 seconds. This was the fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Very good little sprint to start the show, and it gives OVE momentum ahead of their 6-man match with the Lucha Brothers and Brian Cage, the X Division champ at Bound for Glory. Eli Drake against Trevor Lee. Eli Drake wins in 3 minutes and 33 seconds. 2 stars. I'll give it 2 stars for it was okay while it lasted, with Eli picking up another win. And I like that Drake keeps winning, but he really needs a few to sink his teeth into. King squared off against some Hammerneger named Kronos. King won it in 37 seconds. It was a squash. It was what it needed to be. Fabi Apache against Alicia Edwards. Fabi Apache wins, 5 minutes, 18 seconds. I can only give this 2 stars. MF, I know you put her over last week, and this just didn't really blow me away, if I'm to be real honest. It was just okay at best. I mean, and it's not Fabi Apache's fault. It's Alicia Edwards. I mean, she's such an awkward performer in terms of flow, and none of her offense looks as if it hurts at all. So, yeah. So, but hey, Fabi Apache has a huge match. She's going to be in action again on the next show. She's gonna have a good match coming up. Pentagon and Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers against Matt Sydal and Rich Swann. The Lucha Brothers win in 13 minutes. Best fight of the night. This was 3 stars. Good match. Fun spots. Never really got into second gear, and the layout never felt all that smooth. I kind of wanted to see more, honestly. It was also announced that the Monster Abyss will be the newest inductee into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. Well deserved. I mean, somebody who's been there from the beginning. So, well done. Congratulations, brother. World Heavyweight Championship on the line in the main event. Austin Aries against Tejano. Austin Aries successfully defends in 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh, boy. Talk about disappointing. Only 2 stars. A very flat and disappointing main event considering who was involved here. It felt like they were working a house. This had the feel of a house show match, honestly. No sense of urgency. The crowd couldn't care less, and I don't blame them. Tejano is a largely unspectacular performer, but in the past he's worked up to better opponents and had good matches, mainly in Lucha Underground. And Mep knows all about him, but unfortunately that didn't happen, and it just also didn't mesh well together. It was okay at best. The post match was actually better, hyping Aries and Impact for Bound for Glory as well as Eddie Edwards and Moose. So really nothing more to say here. 6.5 out of 10. I mean, I love when they go to new places, and I generally enjoyed the vibe of the show and the mostly hot crowd and some different talent being used. It was a solid show, nothing bad, and the 2 tag matches were good and fun. You know, set matches for next week. Continued some solid build for Bound for Glory. It was a little uneventful, but it's still a consistent show right now, putting the pieces in place. But I'm just desperately waiting for that hot streak like they had before Slammiversary. So that's all I can say on that. So, a solid 6.5 out of 10 for this week's show. And then coming up on the next Impact, which will be on Thursday night, airing opposite, without question, a really good Thursday night football game with the Vikings and the Rams. We got LAX squaring off against the Desi Hit Squad. Allie and Kira Hogan against Su Yung and the Undead Maid of Honor. La Parka. Oh, that's a legend. He's going to go up against Eli Drake. Fabi Apache is going to get her big moment. She's going to be challenging Tessa Blanchard for the Knockouts Championship. There's a match to keep an eye on right there. And wait till you see what happens after the match. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to park it there. Main event, we had Moose and Killer Cross squaring off against Eddie Edwards and Johnny Impact. So that's really all there is to say on that. So that all goes down Thursday night on Pop Television. Check your local listings for the time and channel in your area. Michael Bullock is here. So Bullock, come on in. Let's get you caught up on this edition of Monday Night Raw. And please keep it rapid fire. That's all I can say. The opening segment with the Shield, the Dogs of War, Baron Corbin. Without too much detail, your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought it was a good segment. I mean, pretty much setting the tone for not just tonight, but of course for that 6-man tag team match that's going to happen at Super Showdown. So, good segment. Move on.
Finn Balor against Jinder Mahal. Finn Balor wins 9 minutes and 55 seconds with a tope con hilo, I might add for you.
Oh boy, good to hear that. So, yeah, it was I'll give it about 2.5 for the effort. So, move right along.
6-woman tag team match. Natalya and the Bella Twins against the Riot Squad. Riot Squad won it in 10.5 minutes. And what about what happened to Liv Morgan? Oof.
I heard about what happened to Liv Morgan. I mean, oof, that was pretty bad. But yeah, I'll give it about another 2.5 for the effort. So once again, just move right along.
And we talked about that Connor's Cure segment, which came off really well done. And then the Raw Tag Team Championships were on the line. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler defending against the Revival. McIntyre and Ziggler retained the titles in 12.5 minutes. Wow, what an effort.
Yeah, it was definitely one heck of an effort by the Revival, but in the end they come up short. So I'll give it about an even 3, maybe even 3.25 to say the very least.
And then we had Bobby Lashley against Elias. Bobby Lashley wins by DQ in 13 minutes and 5 seconds.
I'll give it 3 stars for the effort. I mean, once again, it was because of the DQ, I can only give it that.
and then the main event, the Shield against Baron Corbin and his two partners, which turned out to be the AOP. None of us were surprised about that, but nonetheless, the Shield won it. Time of the fall between 19 minutes and 10 seconds to an even 20 minutes. Like I just told MF and Didi, I said it was the best Raw main event since Reigns and Balor last month after SummerSlam.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I'll give it about 4.5. I mean, somewhere between that. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say this, Flora. I mean, maybe we need to start taking the AOP seriously again,
right?
Especially now that they're under the tutelage of Drake Maverick, and who knows, maybe Drake Maverick was the best thing for him.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, they had a great thing going with Paul Ellering, but once the AOP made it to the main roster, Paul Ellering at his age cannot handle the full-time WWE schedule. And that's all there is to say on that. So, yes, absolutely. So, overall thoughts on this show tonight as we wrap up?
All right. What did you guys give it?
About 6.5.
I'll say somewhere. Yeah, I think 6.5 is the correct rating for this edition of Raw. So, yeah, one more Raw to go before the Super Showdown event, and boy, howdy, I can't wait to see what goes down next week.
Yes, especially with Shawn Michaels in the house, Ronda Rousey against Ruby Riott, and Bobby Lashley against Kevin Owens. So,
and
a decent show next week.
And don't be surprised. I mean, if Shawn Michaels is there, we could get.
He is.
I mean,
he will be.
Oh no! With Shawn Michaels being there, who knows if we might also get Triple H and The Undertaker.
Oh, if you get all three, oh my goodness, that's blow away segment of the night right
And then if you add Kane to that mix,
that puts it over the top. That's all there is to say on that. Well,
that's why I'm definitely looking forward to next week's Raw before the Super Showdown event.
Absolutely. So
all right, just put a wraps on this.
So we're about to put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw, but one last piece of business. We're going to bring in MF right on cue. So MF, the age-old question: tomorrow or Wednesday? When are we doing this?
No, it's tomorrow night. It's definitely going to be 10 o'clock. It's going to be right after SmackDown Live goes off the air. It is Cerebral Smack Talk, as always. Light show this time, guys, because of the fact that we did the double show because we did the 2 weeks of Lucha Underground. We got nothing on that. We do have SmackDown Live, as always, and we do have something for the RWA fans, guys. I know you guys have been wondering what's going on. We got a big show coming down Saturday night. Called Fatal Impact. That's going to go down at the Chop Shop Part 2 in Pawtucket. I will run the card down. And I also got a little something extra. 10 p.m. Eastern, immediately following SmackDown Live. Come on to Braves Fan 9 to 5, and we're going to get it lit tomorrow. So 10 p.m. Eastern, Anthony, take it home.
All right, that's good to hear. So you heard MF. Immediately following SmackDown Live tomorrow night, 10 p.m., Cerebral Smack Talk over on Braves Fan 95. The rundown of SmackDown Live, of course, headlined by the contract signing between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. And, that's not going to end well. So we'll see what happens there. And, of course, we'll be off on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'll be back for another edition of College Football Thursday. Time to be determined. We'll run down week 5, top 25 action, power poll, the whole 9 yards. And then Friday, we got week 4 of NFL Friday. I mean, man alive. I mean, major shakeup in the power rankings. That's all I can say on that, especially with some of the results that went down. And then right back here next week for Ridiculously Raw. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF on Braves Fan 95, it's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here. For good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and the hardcore pipe bomb Derek Ferreira, especially after what he did last night. So that's it. So and in spirit, like I said, Derek Ferreira and all them. So you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw the Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until the Cerebral Smack Talk tomorrow night, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 and YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.